أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. It is the second part of the question under discussion. Miller as a dramatist, Miller as a playwright. What are the characteristics of his plays? عزیز طلباء و طالبات، دوسرے لیکچر میں خوش آمدید. یہ ہمارا لیکچر اصل میں پہلے لیکچر کی کنٹینیوٹی ہے. اس میں ہم جو ہے وہ ملر کو بطور پلے رائٹ جو ہے وہ ڈسکس کر رہے ہیں. اس کی مختلف خصوصیات، مین فیچرز جو ہیں، بریفلی ہم ان کو ڈیبیٹ کر رہے ہیں. صرف امتحانی نقطہ نظر سے، علمی اور ادبی نقطہ نظر کو ہم نے تھوڑا سا پوسٹ پون کیا ہے ڈیو ٹو دس ایمرجنسی سچویشن occurring after the closure of your institutions due to COVID-19. تو ہمیں بیٹے چونکہ امتحانی نقطہ نظر سے اس کو اپنے سلیبی کو کور کرنا ہے، تو لہذا ہم جو ہے وہ ٹو دی پوائنٹ سوالوں کو جو ہے وہ تیار کریں گے. لیٹس کم ٹو دا پوائنٹ، ٹو دا مین ڈسکشن آف دا سیکنڈ پورشن آف یور لیکچر دیٹ کنٹینیوز ملر ایز اے پلے رائٹ. Introduction. As we have already discussed in the previous section of our question, Arthur Miller is a contemporary dramatist, a big name in American dramatic world of the 20th century. Surely a man who has brought about many revolutionary changes in the concept and practice of drama in the modern world. He belongs to the expressionistic school of drama, and the realistic one, surely, which explores through outer symbols and impressions the inner state of mind of a character and a man and a person. He is one of the 5 major internationally well-known dramatists of America. We have already known them. In his writings, he insists that courage, truth, trust, responsibility, faith must be the central values of men. All these values are the values of the past. You may say that he tries to revive history and tries to revive the past through these values in this modern materialistic world of today, where man is caught up in the struggle for survival, sustenance of his own. In this struggle of today, values have lost their ground. Surely the values, the solid norms and values of the orthodox, you may call that, or the ancient world or the old world, have died down, and now there are new realities of life which have taken place of all the values, the norms of the past. And Arthur Miller has made a deliberate attempt to revive all these values of the past in his writings, in his dramas, through his special plays about a realistic depiction of life all around him, as seen through his pages of the plays like Death of a Salesman and The Crucible especially. Dear students, Miller is often labeled as a social tragedian. Basically, Miller is a tragedian, and more exactly a social tragedian, as you know. However, his social tragedies are quite different from those of George Bernard Shaw and John Galsworthy. Both the individual and the society are responsible for the individual's tragedy according to Miller. Hence, his concept is purely and essentially modern in concept and practice, and is surely different from the classical viewpoint. He envisages tragedy as a serious drama of the modern average and ordinary man, that is, the common man, in the modern situation. The individual surrounded by the environmental forces, the family, the society and the state, the country, the region, the area, the place. The tragedy of a king or a prince does not relate to the modern man today. Rather, it is the tragedy of the common man, just like Willie Loman, that inspires the modern man. A man like him, a man like the common man. It is the tragedy of the same kind. Therefore, it attracts the common people, attracts the attention of the common reader, and he thinks that it is the story of his own life. The stories of the kings are now the stories of the past. Therefore, the modern people ignore them, just throw them away. They have become fantasies for them. And in this world of bitter realities, people find their own realities quite attractive to be discussed, to be elaborated, to be told and retold through writings and theaters and dramas as well. Dear students, man is seen as a product or slave of his surroundings in Arthur Miller's plays. Miller's tragedy is the combination of the Greek and the Christian tragedy. That is to say, he takes help from different aspects of the Greek concept of tragedy and the Christian concept of tragedy. The function of the tragedy is to reveal the truth concerning society, whereas the Greek dramatist's fate alone was a power stronger than any other. To Miller, God and fate are secondary to society. This is the deviation he makes a note of. Environment and heredity, that is the genetics, the inheritance of man, are a shaping force now in the tragedy of Miller. Man is seen as a product or slave of his surroundings, his environment, his social milieu, that is. The tragic feeling is invoked and provoked in us not by terror and fear, but a character's readiness to lay down his life to secure his personal dignity, his status, his lost identity that he is in search of. तो बेटे वो ये पॉइंट हम पहले भी वैसे डिस्कस कर चुके हैं प्रीवियस सेक्शन में, लेकिन ज़रा इसको यहाँ एक्सपेंड किया गया है, कंपेयर किया गया है ग्रीक कॉन्सेप्ट के साथ कि ग्रीक्स के यहाँ हमें जो है वो नज़र आता है कि ट्रेजेडी is aroused through the conflict between the individual and the stronger forces that you may call them the divine forces and fate, etc., etc., playing their role in the ruin and destruction of the main character, that is the protagonist. On the other hand, in Miller, we find that the antagonist forces are to be found around him in society, in the living conditions he is caught up in. And then, surely, the tragic feeling is invoked in us by the character's struggle in this very scenario he is caught up in. तो बेटे ये फ़र्क जो है, ये दो तीन जो बुनियादी चीज़ें हैं उनको यहाँ जो है वो रिपीट किया गया है. पिछले सवाल के पॉइंट्स को यहाँ जो है वो वाज़े करने की कोशिश की गई है. Then again, my dear students, it is very interesting to note that Miller chooses contemporary themes. All his plays are about the themes from day-to-day life. According to Raymond Williams, a critic of the modern age, Miller has restored social criticism to the drama and has written on such contemporary themes as the social accountability of business, the forms of the success ethics in the world today, intolerance and thought control, the nature of modern work relationships, and such other things in social circumstances. And this is what we call the contemporary themes: the economic condition of man, the ethical conflicts, the moral conflicts, the social conflicts in which a man finds himself entrapped right away. As we have already noted, his dramas deal mainly with man's relationship with his family and society, with the social scene, that is. He fuses the social and the psychological in his dramas as well. As a socialist, he is more of a humanist than of a Marxist type of writer. Dear students, now we come on to the next point of our discussion, that is about social realism to be found in his dramas. As we have already discussed realism, there is further expansion of this concept to be found in Arthur Miller's plays. No doubt, Miller has brought realism back to the theatre. It is an accepted truth. It is, however, a social realism, viewing psychology on one side and rhetoric on the other. He studies man in the actual and existing environment of family or society, as we have discussed time and again in our lines. His characters are real life like people, taken mostly from the common world of today, but having resemblance with some historical figures at times as well. His method of yoking past and present together is very close to psychological reality. His idiom, that is, the language, is also realistic, taken from day to day life. The language is simple, colloquial, and contemporary American English. However, his realism is tinged with romanticism and sometimes sentimentalism, bringing about the failure, the ruin, or even the tragic death of the main character or the protagonist. Although we do not find Sophoclean or Shakespearean figures, the characters of great stature, position, but we do find some uh, hints here and there of romanticism, sentimentalism, the qualities we also find in classical tragedies. And it is Miller's credit that he gives all these qualities a special flavor of realism of today, makes his characters, the protagonists, living life like characters, just like us, just like the common man, the common human beings living all around us, facing all moral, social, ethical, economic crises we are all facing in this materialistic run of our life, that is the rush of life. तो बेटे अगरचे हमें जो है वो कोई सोफोक्लीज की तरह से या शेक्सपियर की तरह से या डॉक्टर फॉस्टस जैसे जो है वो हमें कोई जायंट टाइप ऑफ करेक्टर्स तो नहीं दिखाई देंगे इसके यहाँ, लेकिन मिलर की स्पेशलिटी ये है कि उसके करेक्टर्स जो हैं दे आर टेकन फ्रॉम द ऑर्डिनरी लाइफ, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड social realism. He brings all his characters colored with the social coloring of day to day, the contemporary life. तो बेटे वो सारे एस्पेक्ट्स को कवर करने की कोशिश तो करता है, बट लैक्स, श्योरली लैक्स डेप्थ. साइकोलॉजिकली वो एनालिसिस हमारे सामने नहीं रख पाता जो वर्जीनिया वुल्फ के यहाँ आपको मिलता है, या हमें जो है वो वाली रियलिज्म इसके यहाँ नहीं पाई जाएगी. आप याद रखें, जो आप शेक्सपियर के यहाँ आपको जो मिलती है, जो कहीं और क्लासिकल ट्रेजेडीज़ में आपको दिखाई देती है, यकीनन ये एक सोशल रियलिज्म है. और ये रियलिज्म जो है देखें, ये इसने जो है वो ये जो है वो ली है. इट इज़ जर्मन ओरिएंटेड कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ रियलिज्म दैट ही प्रेजेंट्स इन हिज ड्रामाज एंड प्लेज. He is surely has got a very deep impact of Ibsen on himself, the German, and again Anton Chekhov, the realist from Russia. Therefore, these contemporary impacts, influences on his person, on his concept of tragedy, are to be seen throughout his writings as a dramatist. We do not find the depth, the flavor, the fervor of the past, but he tries to bridge over the gap between the past and the present. Dear students, then we come on to the next quality of Miller's plays. It is rather the further explanation of the previous point, that he amalgamates different features of drama into his social realism. That is called the hybrid quality of his dramas. In his plays, we come across a hybrid of the social, the tragic, and the psychological drama at one place. His purpose is to examine human nature. He makes a synthesis between the subjective and the objective, between surface of experience and cogent emotional life. That is the outer and the inner self of a man. He also employs symbolism sometimes, but his symbols are very simple and flat. They are not as deep rooted and recurrent and dominating as in John Millington Synge, Irish dramatist. His plots, themes, characters, and dialogues are realistic, simple in nature, you may say. He creates effect by repetition as a writer. Miller's plays involve an awareness of life of the modern age. His tragedy involves man struggling against his environment. That is the point we have already discussed so many times. Dear students, most of the plays of Miller are called memory plays. As you will face this reality in Death of a Salesman, that is mostly based on the reminiscences of the main character, Lily Loman. Therefore, we may call his plays memory plays indeed. It is often complained that there is a lack of humor in his plays. He does not explore a character fully and wholeheartedly and doesn't dive deep into the recesses of soul of a character. His plays give an impression of a hybrid of the various elements. He is unable to see the cause, comic, and bright side of life. His vision thus remains incomplete. Tennessee Williams and Arthur Miller are the Romulus and Remus of post-war American drama. Both these characters you face in Roman mythology. Romulus and his twin brother, who were supposed to be the founders of the city of Rome, as it is stated in Roman mythology. Therefore, you may call Tennessee Williams and Arthur Miller as the founders of the post-war American drama. If they had not existed, you would have had to invent them. Williams was the son of a salesman. Miller wrote a great play about one. Both writers denied that they were realistic writers. Both wrote memory plays imbued with realism indeed. Dear students, both Tennessee Williams and Arthur Miller were the children of the era of depression, that starts from 1930s to 40s and 50s in America. Both wrote about failed dreams, the dream of success, that is the American dream. Both had a powerful public sexual persona. Williams, through his unconcealed homosexual promiscuity, immorality, that is. Miller, through his all too conspicuous marriage to Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe, as you know, a very iconic figure of Hollywood movies, films, a very famous actress, rather a symbol of beauty and sex in the early 50s to later 60s. She married Arthur Miller in the later stages of her life. It is said that she married more than 17 men in her life. Very beautiful lady of the 50s, 40s, and 50s. And both denied an explicit political dimension to their work. As Miller said, and Williams would have agreed, there are no public issues, they are all private issues. Therefore, you may say that Arthur Miller depicts, just like Williams depicts the failed dreams of the American people, the dreams they try to fulfill in real life, but were never successful in doing so. Dear students, as we have seen that the tragedy in Miller is the tragedy of the failure of the American dream, the dream of success. That is a dilemma of the modern age. Then comes the realism, just as a shadow of the realism depicted by Ibsen in his plays. That is called Legacy of Ibsen. It is a characteristic of Arthur Miller to express his subjects as issues, a leaning towards advocacy of moral conceits. That is his legacy of Ibsenism. The issue that most concerns Miller is America's lack of a sense of its own history and of the connective tissue between the past, the present, and the future. The struggle in Miller's plays is about the difficulty and the possibility of a man, and until broken glass, that is another famous play of his, it is invariably a man taking control of his own life. It is a search for meaning in life that is resolved only in ruin, death, destruction. Miller's heroes, salesmen, dockers, policemen, farmers, commoners, businessmen, all seek a sort of salvation in asserting their singularity, individualism, that is, to make their mark in society, their name, that is, and redeeming their dignity, their individuality, even by committing suicide, facing death, destruction, ruin. Willie Lowman cries out, I am not a dime a dozen, I am Willie Lowman. Eddie Carbone in a view from the bridge, broken and destroyed by sexual guilt and public shame, bellows, I want my name. And John Proctor in the famous crucible line, in refusing the calumny, slander of condemning his fellow citizens, declaims, how may I live without my name? I have given you my soul, leave me my name. In Nothing Does Miller show his Americanism more than in the assertion of the right and necessity of the individual to own his own life. That is the legacy of Ibsen that is to be found in Miller. A man in search of his identity, the lost identity, against all hostile forces of the environment, society that he is facing, to make his mark, to make his name prominent, to be prominent in commonality. बेटे ये मिलर जो है वो एक कॉमन मैन को उसकी जद्दोजहद जो माशरे में अपना मकाम पैदा करने के लिए, अपने आप को ढूंढने के लिए, यहाँ आपको पता है मौजूदा दौर का एक डायलीमा ये भी है कि हम सब बराबर हैं. कोई जो है वो अपनी क्वालिटीज़ को, इंडिविजुअलिज्म को जो है वो कलेक्टिविज़म के हिसाब से जो है उसकी इंडिविजुअलिटी को जो है वो रब ऑफ कर दिया गया है अब. तो अगर कोई इंडिविजुअल अपनी डिग्निटी को, अपनी ग्रेस को, अपनी इंडिविजुअलिटी को सर्च करने की कोशिश करता है तो माशरे की जो वर्किंग मशीन है उसको क्रैश करती चली जाती है. और यही वो आस्पेक्ट है मॉडर्न ट्रेजेडी का जिसको मिलर जो है वो पेश करने की कोशिश करता है. Dear students, after this prolonged discussion about Arthur Miller's concept of tragedy, his main features as a writer, especially the social aspect of his tragedy, his concerns about the common man, the depiction of the contemporary themes, and other qualities of simple language, the dialogue taken from the contemporary life, and the psychological aspect of his plays. Now we come on to the concluding remarks about his writings on the whole. Conclusion. To a society intoxicated by sexual liberation, whirled in the vortex of the Vietnam War and the implicit civil racial war, Miller came to be seen as a ponderous moralist, and Williams as a peddler of nostalgia. His preoccupation with female dependency and homosexual guilt being insufficiently liberated for the age. Miller's response was not to become more public and political but to write more about the past, as if to remind the country that history, like sex, had not been invented in the 1960s. He reclaimed the past as a means of understanding the future, and his recurrent subjects were the Holocaust and the Depression, betrayal in private and public life, guilt, and the loss of innocence. Just we see Cain wandering in a spiritual wilderness. बेटे बिल्कुल ऐसे ही उसके हीरोज जो है वो हमें ऐसे बेयारो मददगार घूमते फिरते नज़र आते हैं, जैसे हज़रत आदम अलैहिस्सलाम के बाद वो दो भाई हबील और कबील जो हैं, केन एंड एबल। बाइबल का हवाला है बेटे यहाँ, वो हबील और कबील के वाक़े की तरफ इशारा है, जहाँ केन जो है वो रूहानी तौर पर डिवास्टेटेड है आफ्टर किलिंग हिज ब्रदर एंड गोइंग अवे स्पिरिचुअली फ्रॉम द वे ऑफ गॉड। तो ऐसे ही उसके जो हीरोज़ हैं वो हमें जो है वाइल्डरनेस में, स्पिरिचुअल वाइल्डरनेस में जो है वो फ्रस्ट्रेटेड सोल्स की शक्ल में जो है वो मिलते हैं। बेटे ये हमारे इस सवाल का इख्तिताम है। Dear students, just for amusement, it is the picture of the marriage of Arthur Miller and the famous Marilyn Monroe, the actress, taken from a newspaper. That was approximately in 1956. This marriage took place. Dear students, thank you very much for participating in today's lesson. Inshallah, we will meet in the next textual questions now, that is the text-based questions from the play itself. Till then, it is Allah Hafiz and goodbye from my side. Thank you very much again.